In this video, we're going to discuss the meaning of slope and y-intercept in a given context. Of course, each question in this topic is going to be different. We're going to look at two past Regent questions to practice. This is a long answers question from the June 2016 Regent question number 30. During a recent snowstorm in Red Hook, New York, Jamie noted that there were 4 inches of snow on the ground at 3 o'clock p.m. and there were 6 inches of snow on the ground at 7 o'clock p.m. If she were to graph these data, what does the slope of the line connecting these 2 points represent in the context of the problem? But let's first look at what her graph would look like. Her graph would of course only be in the first quadrant because both time and inches of snow can only be positive. And let's let the time be the x values because that's the independent variable. Nothing is changing, just the time is changing, but it's not dependent on anything. And then the inches of snow is going to be our y-axis because the inches of snow are dependent on the time. At time 3 o'clock, there were 4 inches of snow. And at 7 o'clock, there were 6 inches of snow. So the slope of the line would be whatever the slope of this gray line is. And it would be, the slope of the line is always the change in the y values. So it would be the change in the inches of snow over the change in the time. So the slope, in this case, would represent the rate at which snow is falling. So the answer to the question is, if she were to graph this data, what does the slope of the line connecting these 2 points represent in the context of this problem? It represents the rate in inches of snow per hour. Let's look at another question from the January 2016 Regent. The cost of belonging to a gym can be modeled by C of M is equal to 50M plus 79.50, where C of M is the total cost for M months of membership. State the meaning of the slope and the y-intercept of this function with respect to the costs associated with the gym membership. So let's look at the equation. We have C of M. C of M, they told us the total cost for M months of membership. This is total cost. C of M is equal to 50M, and M they told us represents months, plus 79.50. And we want to find what's the meaning of the slope. The slope in this case would be 50 because any equation that's in the form y is equal to mx plus b, m represents the slope, and b represents the y-intercept. So 79.50 is the y-intercept. So for this equation, C of m is equal to 50m plus 79.50, we have some sort of cost. The slope is some cost that's dependent on the number of months, plus 79.50, which is not dependent on anything. So the 79.50, the y-intercept, is when you start your membership, you have to pay $79.50. It's a flat rate for starting your membership. So that's what the y-intercept represents. This is the flat rate for irrelevant of how many months you have your membership for. When you start your membership when you start going to this new gym, you have to pay $79.50. Flat rate to start your membership. And how about the 50M? 50M means that you pay $50 per each month that you're there. So if you're there for 10 months, then you have to pay $500. So the slope is your cost of membership per month. Now, of course, each question related to the slope and the y-intercept is going to be different because each equation is different, but the basic idea is that the slope is often dependent on something because it's attached to a variable. So the term with the slope in it often changes its value depending on the variable. And the y-intercept is often a flat rate because it's not dependent on any variable that's changing.